Hey everyone, and welcome back. I'm Joey, and today we're going to take a quick look at the Lenovo Legion Go Z2 Go model. Now, I've spent some time with the device, and I have to say I'm actually quite impressed with the out-of-the-box experience with the Lenovo Legion Go S. The Legion Go S here runs SteamOS right out of the box, and so anybody familiar enough with the Steam Deck and that process pretty much knows what to expect here. But first things first. This is actually a very ergonomic handheld, and it will work well with those of you that have larger-ish hands, I think. I have personally been struggling a bit with the comfort on this because I can see the ergonomics, I can see the comfort, but my hands just don't scale up to the size that they want to be for this device. But I can see it. It's one of those things where the device itself actually looks and feels comfortable in certain situations, and then in other ones I'm like, if my hands were just slightly bigger, this would be perfect. Now on the back, there are some pretty cool trigger stops where you can change from analog to digital triggers by just using the little stopper if you want. And honestly, I love to see this. I want to see more handhelds do this and more controllers do it. It is an awesome feature that doesn't get talked about enough. There are programmable back buttons as well for extra usage. And overall, it is a very nice looking device, but also one that can be very comfortable in a lot of people's hands. I actually like the look of this handheld quite a bit. It's got all of the curves and smoothness in the right spots, where the original Legion Go did not. And so it shows that Lenovo is definitely taking comfort and ergonomics into account here with their future designs. On the front, we have very big buttons, some nice Hall effect joysticks, and a loose, easy-to-use D-pad that I actually enjoy. There is also a trackpad here on the bottom right, and I'm not a big fan of it. I've tried using it in desktop mode, and I struggled to get it right, and currently it does not work in gaming mode. The screen they're using here is an 8-inch LCD IPS 16:10 aspect ratio display, which is the same as the Steam Deck from an aspect ratio perspective. But we do have a 1600 by 1200p panel, and it does have 120 Hz with variable refresh rate. I'm actually a very big fan of the screen, and it would definitely be a good point of upgrade over something like the Steam Deck to get the extra size and resolution bump from 800p to 1200p. Now, the Lenovo Legion Go lineup of devices can be a little bit confusing, so let me maybe help you out here so you can understand what this one is compared to the other ones that already exist. So, the model that we're talking about today is the Lenovo Legion Go S Z2 Go SteamOS model with the AMD Ryzen Z2 Go processor, 16GB of RAM, and 512GB SSD for $599 US. Then there's the Lenovo Legion Go, which was the first model that they released with the AMD Ryzen Z1 Extreme, 16GB of RAM, 1TB SSD for $649 or $749 US, depending on the sale and the day. Then there's the Lenovo Legion Go S Z2 Go Windows model with the AMD Ryzen Z2 Go processor like we have today, 32GB of RAM, and a 1TB SSD for $729 US. And then, yes, we keep going. There is the Lenovo Legion Go S AMD Ryzen Z1 Extreme model with 32GB of RAM and a 1TB SSD running SteamOS for $829 US. Lastly, we have the exact same model that we just talked about, but with Windows, and that retails for $899 US. Are you still with me? I hope you are. You wouldn't be blamed for being confused at all of these different prices and specs and all of that. It can get very confusing. But the easiest way to understand it is today, the device we're looking at is the cheapest model available, is the Z2 Go with the 16GB of RAM for $599 US, and you can get it directly from Best Buy's website. You could probably go in store and grab it there too, so it's an easy model to grab. You can think of this as the Steam Deck competitor in a lot of ways. It's sort of like a Steam Deck Pro with the upgrades that you get. It's not as powerful as the Z1 Extreme options that are available, but those are a lot more expensive. For $599 US, you do get quite a bit here. But I think there's one caveat. I think you have to buy it for the right games. On the emulation side, you are pretty much well set for everything and anything that you want. From old retro games to GameCube and PS2, all the way up to PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 and Switch. The Z2 Go packs well enough of a punch to be able to play anything that you want on the emulation front. You do have quite a few options available to you for TDP Control, and that is baked right into SteamOS, so you can choose what you want for these games. Quiet mode is the 10-watt mode, balanced is 15 watt, and performance mode is 30 watts. Or you can throw it into a custom mode and set the TDP to anything that you want between 5 and 40 watts. On the performance front, I was actually curious to see what I could play at a 1200p resolution without lowering it. And so I went through most of my non-heavy Steam games, trying out a whole bunch of indies, older AAAs, and mid-tier games, and that's exactly what I think you would want to use this device for. Honestly, every video does the same sort of thing. Cyberpunk, Forza Horizon, Black Myth Wukong, all that sort of thing, and I do it too, but I want to do something different today. I want to see what can I specifically do for this handheld that makes it look good, I think, in what it can play. And honestly, I have to say, at 1200p, it plays surprisingly well for a lot of games. In honor of Digimon Story Time Stranger coming out later this year, I checked out Cyber Sleuth, and I capped it at a 10-watt TDP, and it got me a nice 40-ish FPS in battles and around the world. This would make a very good low TDP game, but of course you can go up to a 15-watt TDP if you want to and get some more performance. Now, of course, I checked out the same 10-watt TDP for Danganronpa, which is pretty much mostly a visual novel game, so it would easily benefit from a low TDP usage, and of course that runs great. Then we jump over to a game like Dave the Diver, which surprisingly has some dips under 60, but Dave is a bit of a deceptive game. It needs more power than you would expect in a lot of scenarios. And then I decided to just uncap the TDP and let's see what we can do at full power with 1200p. Dragon Quest XIS plays super well at 1200p, and I have the graphics settings cranked here. Forgot to change them for the video, but 40-ish FPS with cranked graphics and no tuning is actually pretty good. I'm not sure how many people are aware of a game called Deep Rock Galactic Survivor, but it is a super fun survivor auto shooter, and it has a lot that's going on screen. Regularly though, it is above 50 FPS at 1200p. Then we're going to jump into a game that I've been enamored with since its release, and it is Fantasy Life, The Girl Who Steals Time. And I found this to be of interest because at 1200p with max settings, we're in the 50s to 60s range, which is actually really good. And you can dial a lot back to lower the TDP if you want to. Hades 2 easily chugged along at 1200p high settings, and that's a pretty much consistent 120 FPS, which is great for the screen. Now I couldn't do Danganronpa without trying some 100-line Defense Academy, and you are pretty much well set at 60 FPS at 1200p inside of battles, which is better than I expected coming in. Persona 5 Royal is pretty much more of the same, above 50 FPS throughout at 1200p high settings, and it looks gorgeous on this screen on top of everything. Lastly, another likely lesser known game here with Rune Factory, Guardians of Azuma, and this plays super well at 1200p, mostly 50 to 60 FPS, and medium settings. Honestly, overall, I found myself enjoying the games here and on this handheld, especially thanks to the 1200p screen, which is gorgeous, the variable refresh rate, which helps immensely with games that maybe have a struggle with some FPS, and the entire package looks great. I think those of you looking for even more power could consider the other Lenovo Legion Go options that we talked about before, but again, those do come with some major price increases. If we look at this from a compared to Steam Deck perspective, there is a lot to like here as an upgrade over that. Now, on the battery front, there is a 55 watt-hour battery in here, which is better than the traditional 46 watt-hour battery that is in most of these PC handhelds. And at 100% brightness with the volume at around 10%, playing some low wattage 5 watt games, I was able to get about 6 hours or so of battery life, which is pretty good. Now, if we jump up to the midpoint of 15 watts, I saw about 2 hours or so of gaming, depending on the game. You can see about 3 hours in specific situations. Lastly, if we pump it up to the maximum 40 watts, it's around an hour or so of gaming, a little bit over that if you're lucky. But I'll be honest, with a device like this, I think you want to stick to what you would normally play on a Steam Deck. Just you would get the extra benefit of a 1200p screen and all that sort of thing. So you get a nice bump. You get a bigger screen, you get a better screen in some ways, all that sort of thing for a little bit more money. And it's just a different experience. It's a Steam Deck Pro, like I said before. It's not exactly a replacement. It's not a Steam Deck 2.0. It's none of that. And for a lot of people, it's probably not even close to a Steam Deck. But to me, I can see it as a reason you would want to upgrade from a Steam Deck to something like this and still have the benefits of SteamOS, still have the benefits of playing the same games, just maybe at a better resolution. So what do you think about the Lenovo Legion Go S, the Z2 Go option? Is it something that's on your radar? Are you waiting for the price drop? Are you curious at all about it? Let me know in the comments below. I haven't seen a lot of excitement about this device specifically, but I think in some scenarios it actually could be a good device for a lot of people. Don't forget to like and sub to help the channel grow. Come join me on the Discord to talk all about handhelds like this one. Support me on Patreon if you like my stuff. And hope you all have a good one.